Sweet.
Peter's here.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Humanity Hang, a Volunteer Humanity Forward Appreciation Day. We're so excited that you guys are all here with us today. And man, this is a long time coming. This has been an amazing year. We've done some amazing things, not only with Andrew Yang, but with the basic income community. So we're here to celebrate today. And I want to introduce myself. I'm Kimberly Woods. I help to facilitate the Humanity Hangs, and we have a lot of fun. This is where you're at, but we're also live streaming today so that everyone can take part in our amazing day today. So let me pass it off to Erica, and she's going to take it away.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here for our Volunteer Appreciation Day. We have some exciting people to introduce to you. One of the things that I want to mention to you real quick is that we have a huge team of volunteers that are just doing amazing things. I'm so proud of our lead volunteers, though today is not particularly about them. I did want to just put a shout out and let you know that we are so appreciative of all the hard work that you've put in as lead volunteers. And I couldn't be more grateful for all that you do. Today is all about the success that has happened during the sprint to the election and encouragement for going forward to the next step. We have a lot to do. I'm so excited. I feel like I'm in a blessed position to be able to, lead out our volunteer program. So with that, if we have Stacy here, I wanted to introduce Stacy Rutland. She too is a wonderful advocate for volunteerism and for the movement. And I wanted to just introduce her.
I saw Stacy. She's here somewhere.
I'm here.
Okay, cool. Good. All right. Sweet. Good. I just wanted to introduce Stacy and let her shower you with some appreciation as well. Stacy, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Erica. And thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Humanity Forward, and Andrew for your leadership in bringing this very important conversation and very important gathering together. I'm founder of Income Movement, and I see many people actually faces here, and also names on the participant list are people that I've had the pleasure of working with, not only through Income Movement, but my first real kind of relationship with the basic income community was as a volunteer for the Yang campaign. And so I did fundraising and worked on the kind of technical team, the group of technical volunteers. And so the role and importance and value of volunteers is near and dear to my heart. I think it really is the work that you all do is the really kind of the heart of any movement and any work that we do together. And so really thankful to be here and be able to spread the love to everybody that's here on this call and anybody who's going to be watching it in the future or on the live stream right now. And one of the things that I just wanted to say, that when we were founding and really kind of kicking off Income Movement, we had the joy and pleasure of working with Becky Bond, who helped spearhead the grassroots organizing kind of strategy for the Bernie 2016 presidential race, and who also wrote a book called Rules for Revolutionaries that many of you may have read. I know certainly when I was helping volunteer for the campaign, it was a book that got discussed a lot of the times, kind of as we were thinking strategically around organizing. And when in talking with Becky, one of the things that she really kind of went back to over and over again was the idea that the real leaders of a grassroots movement are the people who roll up their sleeves every day and do the work, and that those are not only critical to a movement, but they actually are the people who other grassroots organizers want to work with the most, the people who are just willing to kind of get in there and do what needs doing. And I think everybody certainly on this call today that we're going to get to hear a little bit more about certainly falls into that category of, that kind of go-getter. Where's the hole that needs plugging? How can I help do what is most critical so we can move the ball forward on the movement? And so I really think that it's wonderful that we're having a chance and an opportunity to celebrate everybody here today. And I think if you're one of those people who's rolling up your sleeves and diving in, you are a leader in this movement. And I think that's an important thing for you guys to kind of carry forward with you as we continue to do the work and move into 2021, which is going to be another important kind of push that we make together towards basic income. So thank you, and looking forward to working with you all, continuing to do that work together.
So
Right.
thank you so much, Stacy. We really appreciate all that you've done for our movement, and a lot of people here can show some gratitude to you for organizing income movement and making it such an integral part of what we're doing for basic income. So with that, I will introduce to you our aspired of our movement. I'm so glad today to talk to you about your successes and what we've been doing. Andrew, I don't really need to introduce you. We all know who you are. We're all here with you and for you. So without any further ado, Andrew Yang.
Thank you, Erica. Hello, everyone.
We'll stop this real quickly, Andrew, before you go. Can we stop this screen sharing so that we can see your lovely face on the live stream?
You can't see me?
Oh, there we go.
We can
We
now.
got you.
What's going on? Well done, team. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all. Thank you for the kind words, Stacy and Kimberly and Erica. I agree with what Stacy was saying and what Rules for Revolutionaries say, which is it's really the folks that just actually roll your sleeves up and do the work that are leading this thing. And certainly, I have a very specific role now that many of you may know was not like my favorite role and was not my initial inclination, where I consider myself like a doer first and foremost. And this is like a very strange world where now my talking about something counts as action. It's deeply troubling. I don't enjoy it in the way that I think many people who actually naturally think that talking is doing get off on it. I don't really, but like I know what my place is. My place now is to try and stick my face in front of a camera or a webcam or whatever it is and try and convey a particular message. And I also know that role I have is genuinely secondary to people taking that as a cue to make phone calls, make texts, organize, email, petition, do all of the things that actually show that there are human beings that are behind this movement. So I'm super grateful. And this kind of Volunteer Appreciation Day is very, very, in my mind, every day should be Volunteer Appreciation Day. You know what I mean? Like that's the way it should be. But I know if you're a volunteer, it's hard to feel rewarded and recognized a lot of the time because you're doing something that is very gritty, you know, and you may be like me, we were kind of introverted and it's not like the most natural thing to do. And so you think to yourself like, hey, is this working? And it definitely is working. Like the fact that so many of you have been working tirelessly on behalf of some of the candidates that we fought for, some of the campaigns that we're still currently in the midst of. So I've got some numbers, there are results, but Income Movement volunteers plus Humanity Forward have sent nearly 140,000 letters to Congress. That's a lot of letters. I'm sure some of those letters are not physical letters because that'd be a lot of dead trees, but like a lot of messages have gone to members of Congress. I am going to say I speak to members every day, and the fact that there are so many people that are passionate about income relief is incredibly powerful. Literally every day. Like I'm not exaggerating. I talked to 2 members today. Like I talk to members of Congress every day now being like, hey, you know, how about a cash relief bill? Would that be great? So that would not work at all if they did not know that there were people actually powering the movement, the way that the people we're going to recognize today are, and so many of you. We have helped elect 12 Humanity Forward candidates into office. Yay! I mean, that's the greatest thing in the world. Now I'm going to confess, some of those but some of them, we were genuinely the force that helped put them on the map. And when we got behind a candidate, a few things happened. I know I had a time lag. I froze for a second. Hopefully I'm back now. That when we decided to get behind a candidate, they were excited about the recognition, but most of all, they were excited about the volunteers. If you were running for Congress and Humanity Forward decided to get behind you, the thing that made you most happy about our getting behind you is that dozens of you would show up and phone bank and text bank, and in some cases even show up in person in their district if you happen to be there or took a trip, because they know that having a few dozen or a few hundred people who are expressed that to me. They said my favorite thing about working with you all was that people actually showed up. Like people actually showed up to volunteer, to phone bank, to text bank. There are diminishing returns to money in this space. There's like money and people. We saw it with a lot of these Democratic races. You can pick a Senate race where there's just like, they were just that money coming out of their ears. You know what I mean? Like there are a few of these Democratic Senate candidates who are extraordinarily well funded. And those races did not go their way, in part because they didn't have the people behind them. Like money can help get your message out. Money can help organization build. But if you don't have enough people behind you in that district or in that community, you lose. And you need them all. Certainly, and one of the things I knew when I was running for president is that if I had a choice between having the people behind me and having the money behind me, I would choose the people every time. Because if the people are behind you, then you'll end up getting the money in some way or another. But if you have the money and not the people, you're going to lose. And it's one reason why I saw some of the very, very well-financed candidates. And I was like, at the time, I was like, look, this money's not going to do it for them. Like it's actually very, very hard. And so when I decided to run myself, I was like, look, I'm going to try and build a connection with people, and I'm going to win or lose based on that. And if I never build that connection, then I lose, and I can live with that. But if I do, then we have a chance to do something really important and special. And so that was always what guided me. And we're seeing that play out in race after race. So these 12 candidates who won, some of them firmly believe that we were one of the key forces behind them getting into Congress or them winning state Senate or whatever the race happens to be. So we now have some friends in very high places thanks to you all. So thank you again. That's really, again, Volunteer Appreciation Day. It's bad. We can make it. Maybe we'll make this like an annual holiday, Humanity Forward holiday. What's today? November 22nd, something like that. Right before Thanksgiving, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. It's Volunteer Appreciation Day. And then the other thing, Yangsgiving. That's right. Well, that's pretty good, actually. Yangsgiving is pretty catchy. You can do a lot of things with my name. It's delightful. Someone joked before that I owe all of our success to the fact that my last name rhymes with gang, and that if I had any other name, then we'd be sunk. If I'd been Andrew Lee, no chance at all. Anyway, today's the 24th. Thanks, Diane. I obviously have no idea what the date is. That makes sense because I knew Thanksgiving was the 26th. And then the third thing is we have given almost $10 million to help almost 20,000 families. And many of you actually helped with that in various ways. There was actually a lot of legwork that went into that because we were calling folks, we were trying to track them down, we're letting people know. I'm so proud of the fact that we managed to help people in such a direct way. And some of you have had those conversations. I was always both exhilarated and sad when you could put a bit of money into someone's hands and like you could tell that it was like a huge difference maker to them, and you're just like, yeah, it should not be this way. You know what I mean? Like in the US, like it should not be that the $500 we're giving you is like as important as it is. It's one reason why this movement is so important. So those are some things I think we can be very, very proud of. Almost 140,000 letters to Congress, 12 successful candidates and campaigns in office or getting sworn in as we speak. You know, Jermaine Johnson's getting sworn into South Carolina. We definitely helped Jermaine a great deal. And I think I'm going to be at his swearing in. I should be there in person because where I am, Atlanta, Georgia, some of you know, is only a short 4-hour drive from South Carolina or whatever it is. so I think I'm going to make it over for that. And then almost $10 million to 20,000 families. So those are some of the things that we've accomplished over the last number of days. And we are just getting started. I'm going to share some of the things that we've transitioned to, which many of you know, it's good fun. So there was a point where the way I thought about the races was that there were some Native folks who are very, very much of the Humanity Forward community, people like Blair Walsingham and Suzanne Hugg and others, I think Suzanne's here, who ran for office in part because they were inspired by this movement. And so that's where it started, where we were like, wow, that's incredible. Like Blair's awesome, Suzanne's awesome, Jermaine Johnson's awesome. Like that, you know, there are these people that in some cases had an interest already in politics, but then we energized them in a particular way. And in some cases were purely inspired by the campaign. But then as we started making progress, we started finding people who were running for office that were aligned with us, that were not like originated with us. And so that's very exciting. And then this last leg, which I'm working on with the team, this advocacy campaign, I'm actually finding very exciting too, which is finding people that are aligned with us that are in office. And it turns out that there are legislators in Congress and in state houses, though I confess I've been working more in Congress than state houses, that are actually very, very humanity forward in terms of some of their thoughts and beliefs. If you could have been a fly on the wall for some of these convos, you'd be very excited. Like one member of Congress who is very well liked said to me, the whole goal is to try and find a way to get something transformative passed. You know, it's like we have this sense that there are folks who are in Congress who are just incrementalists, but a lot of them feel like they're getting restrained by the various institutional limits and constraints of Congress. But if they had their way, they would 100% pass something like universal basic income. And so having those conversations combined with the folks that we helped get into office, really invigorating. Like having those conversations where I'm like, wow, that person has been in Congress for, you know, let's call it 5 years or whatever it is. And they have not lost that spark. Like they're still trying, like they're there trying to make it happen. There just aren't enough of them, or that they're not in a high enough committee or position of authority where they can make that vision real. So that's where we come in my mind, is that you have us coming in and some new figures and voices. You have some people who are very aligned, who are there trying to figure out how to get something done. And then we're the force that's going to both energize and elevate these candidates and legislators, and also give them massive political support and cover for coming out in this direction. So the way that it works, if you're a legislator, some of them are in safe seats and, you know, don't worry about it. But a lot of other folks are trying to figure out whether they can go in with us in this vision of cash relief and benefit politically from that. You know, like, I mean, that's the reality. And so the things they're looking at around benefiting politically are they going to get resources if they decide to come in this direction? And when we talk about resources, a lot of the time we're talking about volunteers, people like you who are actually like willing to roll up your sleeves and do positive things. If they believed that, and this is accurate, so they believe it because it's true. If they believe that getting on board with a vision of universal basic income and related policies ends up supercharging their volunteer base, ends up bringing new support in, ends up bringing in new resources, then the entire thing is much, much easier. And right now they sense that that is the case, in large part because they know the Yang Gang is very vibrant. So thank you all for that. Like anyone I talk to in Congress, there's a real sense of, frankly, envy and admiration for like the enthusiasm. It's like like if you're even an elected member of Congress, you don't generally have like an online gang or a gang period. You have people who voted for you, but a lot of folks in your district still couldn't pick you out of a lineup. Honestly, I mean, that's the way it is for a lot of these members. So they are very, very excited about the prospect of having a whole slew of new fans and supporters, particularly those who will do something on their behalf. So that is where our movement's heading now. I'm a very results-oriented sort. So I don't find it satisfactory to be like, oh, you elevated universal basic income, or you elevated particular issues. It's like, I don't care about elevating issues unless we actually change the policy. So I'm chasing that policy all the time, really. And there are times when I get questions about why we're doing what we're doing. It's really trying to get universal basic income passed or cash relief passed. Like that is the lens that I have most all of the time. That's why I'm here in Georgia. And it's why I'm so appreciative to each and every one of you who volunteered for any of these candidates or campaigns, because that is what we're trying to do. And it would not work at all without you all putting your heart and soul and spirit and valuable time into it. So thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart, and from the bottom of the hearts of all the team and the people that hopefully will benefit from our work in the days and years to come. Thrilled really to commend you all, and hopefully getting some insight into some of the stuff that we're working on is energizing for you. It's one of the reasons why I was excited to be here and share some of the things we're working on.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you so much. I hope that was inspiring for everyone, because for me, it is inspiring to have all of you here with Andrew, hearing it directly from him, where we're going next. The next thing we're going to actually go through is an introduction of all our super volunteers. If you could imagine, we are on a stage, we're doing this virtual, but just imagine we're on a stage and there's a panel of people seated, 10 people sitting on the stage, and Andrew has a mic and he's interviewing them. So we're gonna do something similar to that. So if we could cue up the presentation. There we go. I'm going to introduce our first Spotlight Super Volunteer. Her name is Mia Dunford. Mia is a great artist. She often draws at the Humanity Hangs, and she's done a lot for our community in terms of text banking for Marilyn Strickland. So, Andrew, I just want you to—
Where's Mia at?
Mia.
Where is she? Let's spotlight her.
Mia, can you speak up so I can find you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There you are.
Oh, hi.
Damn it.
Oh,
I pushed the wrong button.
it's okay, Kim. I'll come back, I swear.
So while we're waiting, Mia is a co-host here for our Humanity Hangs. She is a phone banker, text banker, yay! And she is a regular speaker on Yang Gang Round Table podcast. So take it away, Andrew.
Mia, it's great to meet you. I've met you online. You know, I've seen you. I think I've liked a bunch of your stuff, and I've really been blown away by your dedication over the last number of weeks and months. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You're awesome.
I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk with everyone here, and for inspiring so many people to fight for the end of poverty and a change to the way the entire world works, really. I like to picture that first day after we get a UBI, and just everybody going out and being able to push forward their dreams, their work, their idea of what this future should be. So, yeah.
Thank you, Mia. You're awesome. So I've seen some of your art. I've got a picture in front of me. Ooh, it's of me, this particular picture.
You know, and we have that in the slide. Let's pull it up.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
It's always a risk when you go to the slide. I see how it is.
Look at that. Mia is amazing.
Wow.
She often
Recent
blows us all
vintage.
away at the hangs.
Here's the thing. It was drawn during a humanity hang.
Yep.
Yeah,
This was
it's
drawn on the spot.
about 40 minutes, I'd say, that one. And, you know, I'm working with the whiteboard in Zoom, so it's not exactly like a high-level tool. So it could be even.
Wait, you did this on the Zoom whiteboard? That's doubly impressive then. That
Yeah.
seems insane.
It was not easy at first, but I know some tricks from using other programs like that before for fun. So
So
Thank
do you work in visual media, like in terms of, so my mom's a pastel artist, to give you a sense. Like, do you have like particular medium you work in?
I tend to use acrylic generally when I'm doing physical media, but I do a lot of my stuff digitally because I have a autistic child on the spectrum, and he's nonverbal and a bit difficult to work with, and he gets to my physical materials often. So it's easier for me to work off the computer digitally than it is for me to work in physical form.
Well, I can relate, and you're a superhero. You know, we have an autistic child, and COVID's been particularly tough because you're around him all the time, and trying to get him to learn online has been a bear. So really just want to say hats off to you for everything you do, both for your son and for the rest of us.
Thank you so much. And seriously, again, thank you for taking this time out, and thank you to everybody in general just for being
Really,
here.
thank you to you, Mia. I love your vision of like the day after we sign this thing. And in the scheme of things, we have made very rapid progress. You know, like I know that there are times when it's not 100% clear how much progress we made. But trust me, as the UBI guy, we're making a lot of progress. You know, like we've advanced it a great deal. And COVID, unfortunately for all of us, helped in that regard. Like, you know, I mean, COVID's been a terrible time, but certainly it makes universal basic income seem very reasonable.
I absolutely agree. And
Thank
I'm looking forward to that.
Thank
You and me
so
both. You're gonna make it happen, Mia. Let's give her a hand. Yay, Mia!
Yay, Mia!
Yay.
Thank you so much, and thank you to Mia's husband, because he lets Mia come and hang out with. He helps Mia be able to come and hang out with us all the time. And
Thank you, Mia's husband.
Yeah. Thank you, Mia. Thank you for all you do. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our next spotlight. Let's go on to our next slide. Mr. Alan Wilkins. Alan is amazing. He has done so much for the Mom campaign, the Eastman campaign. He's been an amazing advocate. He comes to our hangs often. We love hanging out with Alan. Alan, will you speak up so I can spotlight you?
Hey everyone, hey everybody, hey Yang Gang, hey Andrew. Hope you're all doing well, staying safe and healthy, and I'm glad to see everyone here. So, yeah.
Alan, great to see you. This beard is new. Is this a COVID thing? I have to get used to it.
It is, yeah. So when I was on the trail and we met each other frequently back in January last year, yeah, this is, I didn't realize I could grow a beard until COVID happened. I just was working from home, and I was like, well, what's the point in shaving anymore? And then it just like happened. So I don't know. It's a new thing for sure. Yeah.
How does your partner feel about this?
Oh, well, Atsuki's fine with it. She doesn't, she thinks it makes me look older, which is true. It definitely ages me a little bit. I just want to say, Andrew, you know, I've been just been thinking a lot at home, and since I have a little more time to do that, and it's been really interesting. I'm thinking about leadership a lot and how really just leadership is so important, and it's, I think, very important to highlight the fact that really anyone can be a leader of some sort. It doesn't have to be like a certain type of person necessarily, and that what attracted me to you as a leader, Andrew, is two things: your attitude and just your action, and that like the difference between a manager and a leader really is attitude. Those two things. And you know, when I look at the so-called leaders of you know, just our society in general, that it's really a lot of them really aren't leaders. A lot of them are more just managers. And so you know, I was just thinking about the fact that I was at the this is after work. I'm at work right now, and I was the advisor for a Youth for Yang group at my college. And now the president of the group is starting another club completely independently. I did not even suggest this to them, where they're doing, they're asking all the students virtually now, like what sort of things are really, they're polling them basically on what issues are really affecting them and what they're interested in. And so, you know, even though I was like a not really a leader in that aspect, I inspired another student to really step up and be a leader. And so it's just something I've been thinking about lately, how important leadership is, and the fact that even if you might not see yourself as a leader, there are other ways that you can be a leader that may not be so evident. And volunteerism is one of them.
Yes.
And yeah, and so you know, it's just those, sometimes it's just something as small as you know, I help international students and international researchers a lot, and one thing I always try to remember myself, I have it written on my computer, is just to ask them, how is your day? And you know, a lot of times they might not get that question a lot probably, and you know, that small action of just asking them how their day is, just, you know, make sure that you make a connection, and making those connections is incredibly important. And so I don't know, that's what's been on my mind lately.
I love what you're expressing, Alan. I think you've hit the nail on the head, where I think leadership is action. I think if you don't act, you're not much of a leader, honestly. And leadership is caring. You know, if you act and you care, then you've done more than most. And people notice when you act, first and foremost, in my opinion. So thank you, Alan. You guys can probably sense, like, I saw Alan on the trail in Iowa, like a fair amount. So thank you, Alan. I could not agree more with your thoughts. And thank you for putting me in that category. I certainly believe myself to be someone who does stuff. And I genuinely do care. So thank you for seeing it.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you
And
so
thank
much.
Aska for it. I mean, she puts up with a lot, I know.
She does. She does. She being from a subtropical island nearby Taiwan, the cold doesn't really get with her when we were knocking on doors. But you know, she puts up with me well. So
Yeah, you're a very lucky man, Alan. Say hey to her for me.
I will.
Thank you, Alan, for all you do. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the times that I've been on phone bank calls with you. Very good energy. Alrighty, so our next super volunteer is Mr. Ron Russell, who you can read on the screen. He's the VP of Humanity Forward Arizona. Was very supportive of the Hug campaign, exemplary volunteer who's done inspired countless others. So Ron, welcome. Thank you for being here and doing all you do.
Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. It's my second run-in with Andrew, and love being a part of Humanity Forward. It's what's inspired me to get active in politics, right? Back from the Sam Harris, Joe Rogan days, and it's been while Trump was a bad impetus. Andrew Yang has been a really good impetus and really gotten me moving forward in how we can all come together as human beings to make the world a better place. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ron. I'm so glad that I could be part of your activation. I love Humanity Forward Arizona too. Love Suzanne Hug. And the entire crew and community you all have out there is awesome. And I remember our first run-in. And, yeah, I love the local Humanity Forward organizations in Arizona for sure, in Nevada, here in Georgia. Like, I love them. And like Los Angeles and California, like the local Humanity Forward orgs are the best. You know what it reminds me of a little bit? It's like, you know, like you have these clubs that spring up, and it really just takes someone like you just stepping up, being like, hey, we should do this, like this would be positive, and showing people the way. So thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to do this work, and it's definitely needed in the world today. And that human-focused capitalism and is really what drew me in. And if we can keep a focus on what unites us rather than what divides us, that'll really go a long, long ways.
Yeah, you seem like a very wise soul, Ron, and you should know I actually ran into Sam Harris in person in California, and I thanked him in person. I was like, "Hey, Sam, thank you." There's like this little crew. I don't know how little it is. Maybe it's big, but there's like a crew of folks that Sam hangs out with, many of whom have been supportive. So I dare say Sam really was one of the prime movers of the campaign. And I don't know if people know this, but then he called Joe Rogan and had Joe have me on. And we all know that was like a massive shot in the arm. So I joke with Sam that I'm like the candidate he put on the map, and I'm not even joking. I say that, but Sam, being a very generous, selfless sort, is just like, well, you know, like here's to keeping it going.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the impact that you had on Suzanne Hug's campaign here in Arizona. I mean, the breadth that you gave to her was huge, and most of her fundraising came from the national events that happened as a result of Humanity Forward endorsements. And
I love Suzanne. I mean, like, she's like a small business operator. I love small business operators as public servants. Because I feel like if you run a small business, then you like can't bullshit anyone. like in the small business, you can't bullshit anyone, because like, you know, it's like the small business doesn't fare very well. And I feel like we need more of that in government.
Yeah. And well, and that's part of the activation, right? There's a lot of people that came out of the woodwork because of your Humanity Forward focus, and Suzanne was one of them. Yeah, I met her first at one of the viewing parties for your Democratic primaries that we went to, and then eventually she got to the point where she was running, and it was great. It was great.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Ron. We'll see your name on the ballot soon. I don't know if that's true. I'm putting pressure. I don't want to do that. No pressure. Right. No pressure from here.
All right, guys, we're going to move along to the next slide. We're going to move along to amazing Jess Montgomery. Jess is out here in California with me. Hey, Jess, welcome. And Jess has done some amazing things. She runs the had helped to lead the David Kim phone banking program. She played a huge role in our efforts to pass Prop 24 in our wonderful week that we planned with all of y'all. And let me just roll it on over to Jess. Welcome, Jess. Spotlight.
Yes. Hey, Jess, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be spotlighted here today. I really appreciate the fact that you and HF are taking the time to really say thank you to volunteers. I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to some of our great volunteers in California who really make everything possible. So without further ado, Chelsea, Sean, Christina, Arun, GPS, Kim, Kimberly, and Rick, thank you so much for showing up to our Thursday night meetings and putting in the long hours. And I'm continually inspired by you every day.
I know a lot of those people, and they are awesome. Thank you to them. Thank you to the California Yang Gang. I love your background. It's well done.
Thank you. Nell made it.
Yeah,
And Nell is here today.
I know, we're about to recognize Nell, and Nell's done half of the cool stuff for us all visually. Like anytime I like something, someone's like, "Oh, it was Nell."
We were all just saying that before you showed up, Andrew.
Oh no, I have to say, so entrepreneurship pro tip, there are a couple of pro tips I have, but everything becomes real after you have a logo. Like if you have a logo, then like everyone's like, oh, like that must be real. So Nell literally is like making stuff real right and left. Like,
Absolutely.
Like,
but hey, let's talk about Jess, because Jess is amazing.
I agree. Well, Jess is so selfless that she started talking about some of her crew. So Jess, thank you so much for the work on both David Kim's campaign and Prop 24. I'm so excited about both of those things. I talked to David not that long ago, and he ran an incredible campaign, and I know that you and yours were a big part of it. So thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to work on David's campaign, and the Prop 24 folks were great. I had so much fun doing that privacy panel with you and some other privacy experts. It was super educational, and I practice some privacy law, so I sort of nerded out a little bit, but it was wonderful. And I don't want to take too long, but in closing, I would just like to say I am so passionate about developing new leaders within the Yang Gang. So I really hope that we can all come together and mentor people who are just coming up and giving them the opportunity to really step up and do great things.
I agree. Let's do that 100%, Jess. If you tell Erica what we can do to help recognize and elevate folks for the next generation of leadership, please let us know.
Absolutely.
Wow, I didn't realize you worked in privacy. I feel like California, there's going to be this whole new industry that pops up around data and privacy protection, because now the rules are on the books and everyone's like, what's going on now? It's going to be like a whole new agency and the whole nine.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I was just emailing back and forth with Enoch. So lots of stuff happening.
That's so awesome. Well, thank you from the bottom of my heart, Jess. You're incredible. Enoch's great too.
Thank you.
Your entire crew, the entire California Yang Gang.
Thank you so much, Jess. You are amazing. And we will talk. I like the idea of a mentor program. I've seen some things on Twitter about that. So
yeah, sounds great.
Our next spotlight, and I have to say we do need to move things along because we are short. We're running out of time here. So I'm just going to do Andrew, you're so wonderful with our volunteers. I love how much you put in with them. I'm pulling up Nancy Mandoa, who was serious.
Hey, Nancy.
She was such an amazing asset to our COVID relief program. Every day I worked with her on making sure that people got the money in their hands like they needed. So just instrumental management skills. She's just great. I can't say enough of what she did during for our COVID program.
Well, thank you, Erica. And thanks for having me. I feel rather humbled to be in this select group. I guess I feel like I need to represent here all the COVID callers. There were hundreds from people who could just come on for a little bit of time and make a few calls to people that I can't possibly name them all, and you wouldn't want me to take the time, and I don't remember all the names, but people like Nancy DeLucia was really helpful in helping me do some of the things I was doing. Daniel Guinto, just nose to the grindstone, hundreds of calls a week. I know Scott Nelson is one of our volunteers, believe it or not, from France. He stayed up until the wee hours of the morning, just making that 8 o'clock cutoff, which is the wee hours of morning over in France, making these calls to help, get money to people. It's been really inspiring. And I just want to thank Andrew and everybody else and all the volunteers. Thank Andrew for all the inspiration for all these volunteers. I know I've been interested in the issue of poverty for many, many decades. And the idea of universal basic income has been around for a while, but it's never been really elevated to the extent it has as it has been by Andrew. So thank you, Andrew, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Nancy. You're incredible. Thank you for helping so many people during COVID. My mom's name is Nancy too. So I don't know if people knew that. So anytime I see, that it's like, I just think of my mom, obviously. Just like that movie. There's like a science fiction movie. Anyway, it's like
Thanks.
some geeks know what I'm talking about. But thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
You helped us reach a ton of people in their time of need.
Yeah, a lot of the times I was just nosing around in the database and finding weird things, and I said, "Oh, I gotta go bug Eric or Mike about this."
Well needed, well needed. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Nancy. You're an amazing asset to us, and we
Thanks, Eric.
appreciate you staying on board.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
let's get rid of
Nancy.
poverty.
Yes, let's do it. We're going to keep fighting the good fight. And next, I'd love to introduce Erica Wright. She was an amazing organizer. She is an amazing organizer for the Basic Income March. She organized the 2020 and the 19 Basic Income March in Orlando, Florida. She's so passionate about UBI, and she's a good friend. She's awesome, and I would love for her to, let's get her on camera. Erica, would you like to unmute yourself and say hello?
Hi, everyone. It's really great to be here. I'm really excited. I feel really, honored to be here.
Erica, we're honored to have you. Thank you for everything you've done in Florida and beyond. That's so great. Someone's great when they do something 2 years in a row, because the first one's so much work. And then a lot of people are like, yeah, and I don't know if I want to re-up for that. But then you did it again.
And she
Now
doubled down. Look at what's behind her, and in this picture on the screen, she's holding it, but it was the artwork done by her crowd for the Basic Income March. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, shout out to Dave.
Yeah.
Not really well.
Yeah, I hear you're signed up through 2028. No, I'm kidding.
Stacy will be so glad.
Hi, Stacy.
Yes, Florida will be covered. But really, really grateful, Erica. Like the events in Florida were some of the best.
That's great to hear. I mean, I guess that's what I want to quickly say. Watching your videos back in the day, you said, someone had told you that when you're in a room with people, you want to be in a room with people that you aspire to be or who, inspire you. And I'm just really excited to be in this space and be in this room with you and Stacy and everyone else, It's just a great space.
I feel the same way, Erica. If you look at all the folks in this room, there's some of the best people anywhere. It's very inspiring. It inspires me. So thank you. Really, this community is so powerful because when people touch it, they're like, wow, there's some really amazing people involved. And if you get enough amazing people pushing in the right direction, nothing can stop you. And you're one of them, Erica, for sure. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Erica. You're amazing.
Hey.
Thank you, Income Movement, for bringing her to our attention. Also, our next person happens to be his birthday. I think this is...
No.
Yes, it is. So what a gift, huh? Stephen L.
Happy birthday, Stephen.
Thank you so much for being
birthday.
here. Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah,
Yay.
Andrew, thank you so much.
What
And
birthday are
Erica,
you
thanks for putting this together.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I kind of jumped into this crew recently. I found myself with some time on my hands and wanted to do something positive, and the community around Humanity Forward and everyone I've met has just been incredible. And I think that's a testament to Andrew, what you put together and what everyone sort of rallied around. I've been working with Humanity Rights, and we're doing letters to the editor, letters to Congress, and trying to grow that organization as much as humanly possible and keep it going. I personally was very inspired when I heard Andrew on Sam Harris, and then I started listening to your stump speech and realized that you nailed it. No one else seemed to get it, that it's performative. Politics is professional wrestling, and you were the good guy. No one, even people who disagree with you said, yeah, he's a nice guy, he wants to give everybody money. That's the worst thing they had to say. They got it.
What's funny, Stephen, is I was a big pro wrestling fan as a kid, and I definitely wanted to be the bad guy.
But everyone wants to be the heel, but yeah, I mean, you play the cards you're dealt, and I think it's a lost art. I think the sophistry has taken over, and being performative but honest has kind of gone away. And I want to help people get back to that. I think modeling everything you did, and all the candidates that modeled their campaigns on yours, were really successful because of it.
Well, Stephen, one of the things I'm going to be pushing for moving forward is what I'm calling fact-based government, because we really are degenerating into like rival performances, and they're just like charging up emotions around certain terms. Like the whole thing is really ridiculous. It makes me very angry. You know, it's like, oh, socialism. And you're like, you do realize that we're like the furthest thing from that. And the folks, the things we're even talking about aren't that. You know, like it's very, very disheartening how bad the conversation's gotten. And so we need to ground it in fact. One of the things that I learned that was so wild was that even for me, like I ended up just developing a new political language, and it wasn't deliberate. It was just like, you know, to me, it was like the language of facts and numbers and other things. And then some people were like, "Ooh, I like that." Yeah, we have to bring some kind of rigor to this whole thing, or else we're sunk.
Thank
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
Go ahead, Kimberly.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, yes, we do. We gotta be vigorous.
So thank you, Stephen. Where are you calling in from, Stephen?
I am calling in from beautiful Anacortes, Washington.
Wow, it does seem like that. It looked like Pacific Northwest behind you. And
Yeah.
and what number birthday are you celebrating?
This is number 41.
Well, happy 41st birthday, Stephen. Let's give it up to him. Let him celebrate in the adulation of
Thank you, everybody.
maybe hundreds, maybe thousands, depending upon what's going on in the YouTube. You deserve it, Stephen. Thank you for the help.
Thank you, Stephen. You've been amazing. Next, I want to introduce Cynthia Tai. Go girl. She has been amazing and helping with the HF Tech team and all of her designing skills. Thank you so much. I'm not really sure what those letters mean, but yay.
Let me help you. She designed our portal.
Oh my gosh.
UI. I know,
Mind blown.
That's like, you know, the UI's user interface and UX is user experience. Look at that. Who's the tech nerd?
Andrew Yang's the tech nerd. Well, thanks so much, everybody. I'm really honored to be spotlighted as a volunteer. I don't know what to say.
Well, thank you, Cynthia. You know, you working on making our stuff actually look and work better is awesome. You know, like people really have very different experiences based upon whether something's designed well. I think the entire world could use more design. Certainly Humanity Forward benefits tremendously from your energies and talent. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Did you and I have a chance to meet when I was out west?
You came to the fundraiser in January and I was there. I raised my hand out from the audience and you slapped it. And I thought I was recording, but I looked back and I was not. So
we'll have to reenact it. We'll get everyone in the same room, Cynthia. We'll be like, this is January 2020.
Virtual.
I want to quickly give a shout out to the Humanity Forward Tech team because we have some really smart and talented project managers, developers, researchers, and data people, and they're super on top of it. They're super great to work with. I'm so lucky to be working with the people that I'm working with.
Oh, that's so kind, Cynthia. We do attract some incredibly talented people, and you're one of them. But that's one of the things that's so exciting when you do have a chance to work with them. You're like, wow, these people are best of breed. Like it's delightful, and it's rare in activism. Frankly, you know, I think there are folks who might be able to speak from experience on that. So thank you for elevating everything we're doing. I appreciate the heck out of it. I know everyone else does too. And I'm sure when you talk about working with talented people, they think the same thing about you.
My heart.
Absolutely. And I'm going to say at this moment, I'm going to plug our portal, volunteers.movehumanityforward.com. If you go there, you'll see the results of what our tech team is working on. It's amazing. It's made for volunteers by volunteers. So thank you so much, Cynthia. You are an asset to our team. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you, Cynthia. Say hey to everyone for me.
So our next person, our next spotlight, we've already talked a little bit about Nell. He is everywhere on everybody's stuff, making it look beautiful and starting people's businesses, apparently, according to Andrew.
Yeah, no, it's true. You get them a logo, then they're real.
He's an amazing designer, and we appreciate him being here with us.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go
Oh yeah,
ahead.
no. I want to see someone spotlight Nell's window so we can all see his logos and handiwork a little better.
Check the
Someone
slide
freaking-
off for a
whoever's in
second.
charge of
Let's turn
that
the
thing.
slide off. There we
Oh, no,
go.
Yes.
well, I
Look
didn't
at all of this.
I didn't design these logos. I designed some stuff like Paget's new branding. What else did I do here? Oh, well, I'll talk about that later. But yeah, that's about all I really did. Oh, and the Paget and Match show. Those are the two things that I designed. But really, Andrew, I wanted to say thank you so much. We met at The View for your big announcement.
I remember, Nell. I remember that. That was
and-
such a fun day. It was like the last day before we all got shut down.
Yeah, it was, and it's funny because where I was sitting, like, and where you were on the stage, we were like eye to eye, so I could tell, like, every time you looked up, you could see me. So I took advantage, and I took my hat and my marker, and I'm like, Andrew, I want a signature, and you actually, I mean, if you took you went out of your way to get to me to give me that signature, and I want to thank you so much for that, because you had to crawl over people to get to where I was, and that was, nobody does that for, only a person that really cares really goes out of their way and goes above and beyond for that. And I just want to thank you for just being who you are, and just the vision that you brought to the table. And I don't know if you remember what I told you when you were signing my hat. I said, Andrew, I'm a Republican who switched to Democrat to vote for you. And
I remember this interaction well, Nell, and I had the same thought from reverse, which is I was like, there's someone who is awesome and cares deeply if they came to this View show and like brought a hat and a marker. So I really got to get up there. like that's what I thought. So I thought you were awesome, and having a friendly group in the crowd like you and the people that were with you, like, made everything so much more fun and joyous for me on set. So thank you.
Yeah, well, shout out to most of the Jonathan Herzog team who was actually, and most of us met at The View. I don't know if you know this, but
I didn't know that part of the story.
Yeah,
That's so
well,
incredible.
Yeah, well,
Herzog
like
team.
literally after The View, a group of us met. It was with Ching Jewel. We met. We went to go eat Chinese food like a few blocks away, and Jonathan Herzog came in and he made a speech, and a bunch of us signed up to his campaign to be volunteers. And I started with Jonathan Herzog, and let me tell you, Andrew.
No, I gotta say, you've done so much. That's amazing.
Yeah,
can we give a round of applause for Nell? Like, heck yeah, everyone.
Yeah, well, this is what I wanted to say was that, during Yang 2020, all I really did was donate to the campaign and buy merch.
Yes.
And the moment in February when you I hate saying the word dropped out. I say suspended because you never said drop, right?
Ah!
So but when you decided when you suspended the campaign, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit, but when you suspended the campaign, at that moment I knew I had to do more than what I was doing. I knew I knew that I had to just take it a step further and say, look, I need to actually, I can't just donate, and I can't just buy merch. I need to do more, and I have skills to do it. And
yes, and we're I gotta say, we're so glad that you did, man. And we're gonna go on and move to our next spotlight.
Oh, okay, great.
You've done so much for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nell. Let's give a round of applause.
By the way, just one thing, I want to shout out my wife. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah.
I want to say thank you so much for my wife Jenny and my kids Joel and Amory for their patience. Late nights that I stay up, just working really hard. And Andrew, you got to follow Ronnie from Read My Lips. I promised him that I was going to make sure that you follow him on Twitter, and that's one thing. But,
Yeah, hit me up.
Plugs.
And
I love it.
Thank you to your wife and kids on our behalf, Nell. And really, man, I remember that day well. And you've been a house of fire since then, obviously. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
But yeah, hit me up. Like, and I'll look at Ronnie for sure.
All right. Yay. All right. So next up, it is my super duper honor and pleasure to introduce Sienna, and she is the daughter of one of our co-hosts, Brian. Sienna, welcome. You were an amazing instrumental person. You were the intern for the Suzanne Hug campaign. You volunteered for Get Out the Vote stuff. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you've done. Such a young trailblazer. And look at her, she's dressed beautifully.
No, I have a bit of an issue that Sienna looks more professional than the rest of us. I don't know, Sienna.
I do speech and debate. This is my debate and speech suit. So like I've debated UBI like in a Congress round, and I always go for the affirmative just because of all the amazing stuff you've said about it. And I try and like knock down the opposition and try to get it passed in a fictional Congress. So yes, I was a Suzanne Hug intern. I was the only intern, so I did all of the math, any tasks that I could to the best of my ability. I made sure that all of my friends who are old enough to vote were registered to vote, ready to go, and that they understood who their candidates were. Because I'm 17, I'm just not old enough. So seeing you and like doing all your amazing stuff really motivated me and inspired me to get more involved and to make sure that I could step up when I needed to, and that I can use my voice and that I can go out and make the world a better place.
Thank you, Sienna. You 100% can. I can't believe that you're 17. You've already done all this incredible stuff. Imagine what the future holds for you. I can see it very clearly.
Yep, already starting organizations on my own, so we're getting started.
Clearly, that's so awesome. Was Suzanne an okay boss?
She was an amazing boss. She was the most helpful person I could have ever asked for to give me this first experience. Anytime that I needed anything, she was there. Same with Tanya. It was an amazing experience, and it definitely guided me into the world of politics.
Well, you're on your way. I can't help but think you might be on a ballot yourself. No pressure again. I would never induce anyone to run for office because it's a very deeply personal decision.
Definitely not.
But you definitely, like the sky's the limit for you. I can't believe that you've done so much before you even became voting age. I was certainly not as productive a 17-year-old, and anyone who knew me then would affirm it, would vouch for that. So let's give Sienna a huge round of applause for being such a rock star so early on. That's incredible. I'm sure you won those debates anyway. I'm sure that everyone had no choice but to say, yeah.
Thank you so much, Sienna. We appreciate everything that you've done for the movement. So, Andrew, we only have 2 more left, but they are actually not here or unable to be on camera. So I just wanted to do real quick. We have Jacob Kachoa, who is a super texter. He's sent thousands and thousands of text messages out for our COVID relief program and is doing it also now during our push for UBI. So I just wanted to give that shout out. And one more is for Carlos, who is part of our email response team. He is on the ball with helping answer questions that come into Humanity Forward. So with that, Andrew,
thank you, Jacob and Carlos. You guys are great. Maybe you'll see this recording.
That's right.
But thank you. They seem so young and with it. I love
very
them.
Young and with it, very much so. And I appreciate Jacob is always on target with being available for text banking, and Carlos, he is. They always put that human touch in our responses from Humanity Forward. So with that, Andrew, it's time to say goodbye. I know you have something very important to do right now. We have got to send you off. So if you have any final last words, like to send yourself off, let's do it now.
Well, certainly nothing more important than this, Erica. And I knew I was going to enjoy this because I just love the folks that are part of Humanity Forward. I hope you got a sense of it too. I mean, aren't these incredible people? If you're watching this and you're not somehow engaged, aren't you like, I want to work with these people? Then all you have to do is go to Move Humanity Forward and get involved, because we need you. We need your help. We need your energy. We need your efforts to try and improve our way of life for everyone. I can see it. Like the window is opening. We have the potential to be able to get through that window and change things in a fundamental and transformative way, but it will not happen unless we do the work. So thank you to each and every person here who stepped up and volunteered in any capacity to do the work. It really is remarkable. The fact is, if you line up 100 people and they see something, very, very few will actually say, you know what, I'm going to take my time, my energy, time that I could spend with my family or friends or just chilling, and I'm going to pick up the phone on behalf of a candidate. I'm going to text. I'm going to volunteer. What percentage of people do you fall in that band of folks who will actually take action? Maybe a few percent, something along those lines. That's why I love the folks that we spotlighted here today, the folks who've put in the time, because I know how remarkable you are. I know how easy it is to just think someone else will handle it. But the reality is we are the people that are going to make this change happen. That's one of the reasons I ran for president, is that I had enough exposure to meet the people and then realize that no one is going to do it for us. You know what I mean? Like there's like this thing when you're young, you're like, oh, someone will come and do that. And then when you get older, you realize that you're the adult, that no one's going to do it. I mean, especially if you have kids, like Nell's laughing. Like as soon as you have a kid in particular, you're like, definitely no one's going to do this. And if I don't do it. So thank you for being the adults that America needs, figuratively. You know what I mean? Like the heroes, the champions of humanity that America and the world need. I'm incredibly grateful and appreciative. And I'm so proud, really. I'm just so proud that you all saw in our organization and our movement something that you, the incredible people on this call today, decided to get behind. So let's do it. We're making progress really, really quickly. We can eradicate poverty in our time. We can improve the way of life for hundreds of millions of people. And all we need to do is keep working our hearts out and bringing more people in and opening their hearts and minds. So thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you to each and every person who's here today. And again, happy birthday to Stephen. I think that one's a special one. Happy 41st birthday, Steve.
Let's go, Yang Gang.
Woo! Thank you so much, Andrew.
Listen to the birthday boy. The birthday boy says, let's
This
go.
amazing season
So
without some great music. Kiara.
Woo! Was there